I personally hate the feeling of December 1st coming around and feeling like I've dropped the ball on everything, that I'm scrambling to buy gifts, I'm scrambling to plan events, I am trying to get work done also because this time of year is always a really busy one for me. To put it simply, it can all just be a tad overwhelming, and I want to do it differently this year. So I figured I'd take you along with me as I get some planning done in advance so that I can really stay focused on what really matters this season and not get so hung up on inconsequential things. I'm planning on doing weekly Vlogmas videos in December and hopefully a lot of holiday New Year content for starting 2022 on a good note. So if you don't want to miss all that, hit subscribe. By far one of the most time-consuming activities I think that come along with the holidays is shopping for gifts. The time it takes to figure out what to get someone, to buy the gift, whether it's online or in real life, wrapping the gift, giving the gift. There's a lot that goes into this whole thing. And one of the ways I find that we can make it easier and less time consuming is by having a really detailed shopping list for your gift buying. Something that goes beyond just who you have to shop for. Holiday shopping list. So obviously on one side of the table, I'm gonna have the person or persons I'm shopping for. How this is gonna kind of go a step further is I'm gonna have a spot for the budget for the gift. And one of the reasons why I find having a budget so important is because aside from the money saving opportunities that it provides, which we'll kind of touch base on in a little bit, it also just kind of narrows your options for the gift. Whether it even be like you don't have a budget at all and you're gonna try and be more creative and find a sentimental gift or DIY something, but a budget can really guide you in where you're gonna be looking. Then next to that, ideas. Ooh, this is the key column here. This is what's gonna save me the most time when I hit the stores, because if I already have the concept figured out, I'm not gonna be, if I'm going to shop in stores in person, I'm not gonna be there wasting time trying to decide between like these two things, being unsure, and then sometimes even getting frustrated and just panic buying something that I think will work because I'm over shopping, I'm tired, and I just need to get it done. If you've got the idea already figured out in advance, then you're just executing on the idea. Even if you're online shopping this year, there can be so much time wasted just scrolling and flip-flopping between sites. Questions I try and ask myself when it comes to coming up with gift ideas is, what are their interests? Obviously, that can kind of give you some ideas on where to go for the gift. What conversations have you been having recently with them? You know, if they have a favorite coffee shop that they just went to, then maybe you can pick up a bag of coffee from there and they'll really appreciate that. Maybe there's a book on their TBR list that they mentioned to you about wanting to read, or they left a piece of clothing at a store because they couldn't justify spending the money and maybe you can treat them to it. I don't know, there's so many threads that you can find in conversations. It's just a matter of like looking for them. And for the people that I have absolutely no clue what to get them, I try and ask myself, what are the things that I am really interested in? What are the things that really, the products that I brought into my life that changed my life this year? What books did I adore? What foods were mind-blowing? And that in itself can be a really great gift to give someone, because you can say, hey, I read this book this year and it had this impact on me, and I think it'll have significance for you too because of XYZ, and it's a shared little moment. That's a really go-to option for me when I'm just kind of scratching my head and drawing a blank. Next to that, I'm going to put final item purchase, or final items purchased, online or offline, date bought, expected delivery. I think it's really awesome to add you know, an expected delivery, especially for, well, particularly for those things that buy online, because then you can monitor it as the days go by and you won't have any of those surprises when you're wrapping gifts on December 23rd and you realize nothing actually, or something didn't actually arrive in time. And then a section for me to mention if it's wrapped or not. And I'm just going to actually format each column. So this is gonna be date, and this is gonna be a date one. Checkbox. Ooh. Another date one. So now, for example, if I have to buy a gift for my brother, so I'll put Matthew here. and I say I want to spend $1 million on his gift. Ideas go here. What thing would I get him for $1 million? The final item purchase, so maybe I got him a mansion. I got it offline. It was bought on 11/02/2021, and I wrapped the receipt. Look at that. Ain't that cute? And if something hasn't arrived, what I'll probably do, so that, like, say if it were an online gift, is I can mark this expected delivery yellow so that I know that that's something I have to look out for. And that took really no time at all to put together. So I feel like this is going to be something that I fill in the next like 48 hours. My goal this year is to pretty much be done a majority of my holiday shopping by December. We're gonna see if that ends up being the case, because that would mean I'd have to get aggressive with it over the next couple of weeks. That might be optimistic. I might try and duplicate this on a Google spreadsheets though to make it even easier for you. And I'll include a link in the description box below with something that you can download for that. One thing that I would also consider when you are thinking about who you have to maybe buy gifts for, you know, whether it's gifts for individual people or corporate gifts or hostess gifts, that sort of thing, is finding opportunities where you can scale back and make it simpler. So scaling back in the sense of, are there ways that you can eliminate people off your list? And by taking things off your list or people off your list, I mean, like, can you do maybe a Secret Santa for a group of friends? Or, you know, in my family, instead of Secret Santa, for all the adults, we play a game where everyone brings a $10 gift that's wrapped on Christmas Day, because that's what we celebrate. And we play a game of White Elephant, and at the end, everyone ends up with a gift, and we go around one by one unwrapping the gift. And it's always really funny to see what people chose. And also, like, people always try and wrap it in ways that we make it hard to guess what's inside. It's just a fun memory making opportunity. So it really adds to our holidays, then takes away from it, and it doesn't come at the consequence of any really added work for anyone. For friend groups, I think a really great thing to do too is Friendmas. So instead of doing gifts, you say, let's just everyone bring a dish to a Friendmas get together, and you can just enjoy an evening together. Best gift of all. Although it will be at varying degrees, the holidays, I think, for all of us can come along with extra spending. And I find because of that, money can end up creeping up as a stressor, whether it's during the holidays or on January 1st when you're kind of looking back on how the end of the year went and you're left feeling some spending money regret. A great way to combat that, I think, is through a budget. If you don't do a budget at any other time of the year, I think it's especially useful during this time of the year, because there are so many more frequent purchases happening that how is your brain going to be able to really keep track of that? Also, this time of year has a lot of tempting sales like Black Friday deals and Boxing Day deals, and maybe, you know, you want to take advantage of some of those, but you might also want to keep yourself in check from going too crazy. Last year, you guys may have remembered that I had designed a holiday planner PDF that's fillable. You can print it out and fill it with a pen, but you can also just use your computer. So this year I'm going to be using the budget and the spending log page, because setting the budget for the holidays, for all the things that go into the holidays, like gifts, like food, like wrapping paper, like decor, you know, anything and everything that is an expense related to the holidays, having a guideline to keep you in check is important. But I think it's also really important to do that step of tracking the actual spending that you're doing, so you can reference whether or not you are staying in line with what you plan to spend. You'd start obviously with looking at your financial situation this year and seeing what you're comfortable spending on all things for the holidays. So maybe it is also $1 million. Apparently my brother's getting my whole holiday budget this year. We know the $1 million things is a joke, right? That's obvious, right? Okay, just wanted to make sure. Then we would take that number and distribute it to these other categories. So I'm spending $500,000 on gifts, $200,000 on food, $100,000 on decor, $50,000 on wrapping paper, and $150,000 on other. So simple. with the PDF, eh? This is keeping me in touch with what's actually happening in my bank accounts. The worst thing to do is just to kind of ignore it and pretend that it's not happening, and then confront yourself with those realities after all the fun ends. This PDF, again, will be linked in the description box below. I know it's been one that a lot of you have downloaded and used, so I'm really glad I invested the time into creating that last year. As I mentioned, and as I'm sure we've all experienced, this time of year, very hectic, lots going on. So nailing down your schedule is key. Something I'm really trying to challenge myself this year is to stay consistent with my healthy habits, to stay consistent with my routines, because there's a lot of things that can disrupt routines during this time. But I want to make sure that I'm still working out, that I'm still making meals as much as possible. I obviously do my takeout Friday nights, but not getting like in the habit of relying on takeout more because I'm busy. Meditation and gratitude, those are things that make me feel good. With my healthy habits, as you guys know, I like using my habit trackers in my bullet journal to kind of keep me in check, but I also have apps on my phone and my smartwatch that kind of send me reminders throughout the day, particularly for things like hydrating and even taking vitamins. But on my calendar, I want to nail down certain events that are happening this year, like what family get-togethers I think will be happening, what day I want to be kind of like out of the office on vacation mode. I'm hoping I can take 2 weeks off during the holidays. We'll see, we shall see. I'm also going to schedule in my shopping days, like when I'm planning on getting my holiday gifts done, when I'm gonna decorate my tree, what tentative dates I have for even things like the holiday baking that I like to do. In previous bullet journals for December, and you're gonna see it appear this year in about 2 weeks for December's Plan With Me, I like to also do like a countdown to Christmas calendar setup in my journal where there's different activities for each day leading up to Christmas that I can do. Small things like maybe watching a movie like Home Alone or Christmas with the Cranks, which are two classics I love watching around this time of year. Making a peppermint mocha latte, playing Christmas music, you know, just simple things that get me into the festive spirit. And by having it so that I have the key activities I know I'm gonna wanna participate in included in that spread, I know at some point I'm gonna be getting to them. I'm not gonna forget to do them or regret not getting to them when, you know, December 25th hits. This holiday to-do list is also really good for keeping track of all the things that you want to get to. I've even started, just hold on, ow, saving all the boxes, the mailing packages I receive, so that I have things to wrap my gifts with. So I have all this bubble wrap that I'm keeping for gift wrapping. Here's a box I can put things in. I recently went to Indigo and look at how much tissue paper that resulted in. I'm saving all of that for gift wrapping. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And I think that leaves me in a good place for my holiday planning. Obviously I need to take some time to go personalize this for my situation, but I thank you for joining me in kind of thinking about ways we can be a little bit organized this year. Hopefully give you some ideas for your own holiday planning. Let me know in the comments below what's something you do that makes the holidays a lot easier, a lot less chaotic for your life. And I will see you very soon with holiday themed videos, believe it or not. It's coming quickly. I'm excited. I love this time of year. Like the video if you enjoyed it, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Until then, bye everyone. I'm gonna have to really resist the temptation to just spin this entire video. That's what I like to do in my office chair, just a lot of spinning.
Out of my mind, how could I be so blind? How could I not see? Awake on the floor, looking